Welcome back, team. I hope you had a great end to your week. What a fantastic day it was. Loads of opportunities, both sides of the plate. If you knew what you were playing for, if you understood your positioning, whether you were in for a Momo play or whether you're looking just for that little counter trend scalp, and you had to understand the what, when, and where. Okay, you had to understand what your trade was, when you needed to take it, and where your TPs were. Really, really important. But I just want to start by going back to a trading view chart because I didn't get to trade today. I had a power outage. Some of you would have seen on my Twitter. I had no internet and no power for about 5 hours today, and I didn't get my internet back until gone market close. Absolute nightmare. So missed some great opportunities. But let's go into trading view. I'm going to do a market replay so you can at least see what I was looking at. So let's hop over there now and just have a look at the market replay. Okay, so going into a trading view chart, this is on a market replay already, on a 4 hour. And I just want you to see what I've been looking at. Okay, so we talked about this last weekend. We have this range up here, which on a weekly chart is your weekly supply and its daily supply as well. So this was our first target, this daily supply block into here, which you can see on a 4 hour as well. All right, same supply block, you would just have to move this up into here. All right, that was first target for the week. Why was that? Because that was a possible move where we could have come up and done a lower high for the next move down. That would have required a Tuesday high of week, or at least a Wednesday failed breakout. Okay, something that we've seen for the last 4 or 5 weeks. But based on the weekly patterns, what do we get? We get a Monday or a Tuesday high of week and low of week. That sets the parameters. Only one of those will be broken. So what do we get this week? Monday, low of week. Tuesday, high of week. Wednesday, breakout. Okay, so you had breakout buyers in the market on Wednesday, and they've been in the money ever since. All right, they've been in the money ever since. Why has that worked so well? It's worked well because shorts piled in short against this range here, then they piled in against this range here, and now they've just got belligerent and they're continuing to add. All right, and all they're doing is causing themselves max pain. All right, so you do not want to be short in a market where you have short volume trapped underneath price. If you look at the daily chart, and I will go into it once we finish going through these trades, every day, gap up, gap up, gap up. So anyone who is carrying short inventory overnight was in serious pain. Now, if you have a look at the volume this week, it's going to be a little lower. It's not huge volume, and people will be saying, oh, it doesn't count. It's not a real move because there's not real volume in there. There's no buyers. Rubbish. Rubbish. You don't need big volume for these moves. You just need trapped volume, okay? And we have shorts trapped all the way in here, the whole way. All right, so all they're doing is stumbling over themselves, and the market is not giving them an out. Okay, the pullbacks are small before firing up for continuation. So once you understand that, you understand why you can't be short in this market. You have to wait. Even if it reaches target, okay, even when the market comes up here, if this is target for a potential double top in this supply, you do not just get short. That's not how it works. You have to wait for the lower time frame to agree with the higher time frame. So what does that mean? It means that when we do this move, you're looking for a move like this before getting short, okay? Because the market moves in waves, and when we get this move on a 15-minute, and then on a 1 hour, and then a 4 hour, and then a daily, then you have all the different time frames aligning, which means all the traders who trade on different time frames are looking for the same thing. So even if we come up here, okay, and we take a short, we would now be considering, do we get a higher low here? Okay, because we could now get a continuation bullish. That's how quickly the market can change. Okay, so we have to be cautious of this now. We are still in a downtrend. There is absolutely no doubt about it. We can still put in a lower high right here on Monday, Tuesday next week. We can put in a double top, or we can even wash them and then come back out. but we can also be bullish and just keep going and hold the pattern. All right, so there's lots of different opportunities, which is why you have to understand where you are in the market and what the other time frames are doing. So let's just focus on where we are now. So we know we have trap shorts, all right? We know that we held these anchored VWAPs, these green lines here. We held this old demand, all right? So this old demand was really just an area of consolidation when we did this giant ABCD pattern before breaking out for that run into the summer highs before now trailing back down. So we have one anchored VWAP left, which was from this high all the way back in July. Right, so that is a potential target. The other thing we have is this old supply level. So this old area of demand where we put in this double bottom before pushing up, okay? This is where buyers stepped in back in August. Once we washed them out and got a clean break underneath, that flips to supply for me. Why? Because these buyers are underwater. So when it breaks back and gives them a retest, I expect that to fail because I know they're selling their position flat. So this is a target now. It is a target now. This would be a retest. So if you just think about big picture, what we could potentially have here, we could potentially have a cup to here with a handle. Okay, we could potentially fill the whole cup. All right, so the retest of that supply level could be like this. All right, that's more than possible. I'm not going to say that's out of the picture, it's absolutely possible. So you have to be careful when we have so much momentum this week, all right, driving up. You know short inventory is below, you know it's trapped, so don't get short. Don't get short until the structure, at least intraday, tells you that there is a pullback to be had on the market. Get short, take that pullback. Don't be holding the position for the huge move down. There's no way it's giving back all these gains. I expect some profit taking on a Friday for sure, but not giving back this huge move like people think. So let's go down to a lower time frame now. I'm going to go into a 15-minute chart. Okay, and we can add some more anchors here. So we can add an anchor from this point here, and you'll see that price is holding. And what I'm also going to do, which I showed on my Twitter, once we get there, is add one from the NFP candle. So let's just zoom along a little bit. Is that the NFP candle? That is the NFP candle. All right, so I'm going to go down to a 1 minute. And I want you to notice how absolutely key this anchor is into letting you know what price action wants to do. I'm going to zoom right in. So just having to look at both screens, and in fact I'm going to put my glasses on because I'm that blind. Okay, so we're going to add an anchor from that NFP candle. Here's your anchor. So you get this stuff, all right, off that acceleration into 57. And then you come back, into anchored VWAP was there and it held. Now if you have Bookmap or you have some good DOM or a good level 2, you would have seen there were a ton, and I mean a ton, of passive buyers sat there waiting to get filled. Just sat there waiting to get filled. And on top of this, I mean, you could argue, although thin, that this is an order block. Okay, that was a demand block because it gave us that big pushback. We came back and held it, and look, we held it again. So it's a break and retest. Right, so every pullback that we have here, we can think of as a potential level of demand, and you could do a fib within this pullback, and based on your own risk parameters, you could think about trying to join the trend for that continuation move up. So you'll see it came back to 50% of this pullback, and it held yet again coming into 9 o'clock, and it held the anchored VWAP. All right, so how would I have played that? I probably would have looked both sides, if I'm honest. I would have looked both sides, and I'll show you why going down to. Okay, so this is a 1 minute chart, and let's just go through this today and see where I would get short, where I would get long, what I was thinking, where I'd get flat and take some break evens like I have all week. Let's just go through it, and I'm just going to talk you through minute by minute where my brain would be at, what I'm thinking. So here's your NFP move. Okay, there's your big push up. And we're pulling back in. And we flagged. Alright, would I have taken this? No, I wouldn't. I'll just be honest, I wouldn't have taken it just based on the time. It's that little bit too early, the reaction's a little bit too close. But what I would be looking at is this pullback leg if we can expand, okay? So If it wants to prove to me it wants to go higher, like that, now I'm interested. All right, so where's your pullback? Here is your whole pullback leg. Oh, really, it's into here, isn't it? And within that, okay, you've got a demand block here, and you have this engulfing move that left an imbalance. And you can always just do a measured move of the pullback leg if you wanted, right? So you could just do the pullback leg. Can we get to 50% or underneath? So anywhere under 54, 53, I'd be considering a long based on the setup. Okay, because now I think it wants to drive higher. I've got my flow zones are there. They're telling me it wants to move higher. So just looking for a deeper move down. If it will present itself, it might not present itself. Right, beautiful. What do we also have there? Right, we talked about it. We have the anchored VWAP. Okay, so aggressively buying this. Why? Because my risk reward is so good, right? I am only risking, sorry, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, there we go. I'm only risking under these wicks, okay? I'm risking under those wicks to aim for all the way up here. Okay, so almost a 6-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Absolutely beautiful. And really, what am I risking? Like, how many points is this? It's absolutely nothing. 3 points. It's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, if you can't risk 3 points on ES, you really need to reconsider like your sizing and how you feel comfortable, because you need to be able to risk 3 points on ES all the time. All right, moving on. Let's see what it does. So I'm in the red for a little bit. It's holding structure nicely. Okay, now what do we have? This is a beautiful flag. Okay, so if you wanted to, you can add on the breakout of this flag if you've got call position, or you can wait for the retest like that, back inside, right? So let's just say I took the retest. Let's just say I took it down here. So that's what we've been looking for. And now I'm going to hold for a break of structure of the high and a squeeze. All right, there's your break of structure, return back in. Okay, so break, retest, you could have re-added in here if you wanted. Notice holding the flow zones. Okay, and we are looking for that drive up towards supply. That's the area that we're looking for. Everyone knows how I like to trade. I like to get some off and then hold. So where would I get some off? So what I could potentially do is think about this pullback leg that got us there. Okay, where's my expansion point? So my through 200%, so maybe I take it 300%. Let's see if we can get 300. Next drive up, probably take some off. Okay, missed my fill there because we're on replay. How many are we carrying? We're carrying 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are coming off there because that is my target. Okay, hold runner. Okay, high probability trade. 4 come off. Hold your runner. Let's see what we get. Okay, where am I getting out at this point? Okay, so this is the low. Okay, that got you to that high. This is your swing low. It might be small, but that's your swing low. Now, if you're not comfortable with that and that feels like a trap low, you can risk this, but you cannot hold your runner beyond this point unless you're looking for a high time frame move and you've got a much bigger target. Once it breaks below this, you need to be out the game. Out. Simple as that. Out. I'm already thinking short now, but I want the other wick to be taken, okay, because it's a clearer wick for me. Now I'm thinking short on a return leg back in. Oh, just missed it there. Deeper retrace back in would be lovely, please. Okay, we ideally would like a little bit more. Ideal scenario would be this block back here. So if you can do one higher, right, that was it. Bang. Short yet again. What am I thinking? Risking high of day. Where am I targeting? At least the anchor, and ideally VWAP. And let's just think about structure. Okay, now this really, we can pull that along. That's basically my target. Okay, so it's not the best risk to reward, almost a 2, let's call it a 2, but pretty much there. All right. Okay, I am taking one off into that anchored VWAP because I've been very clear. I said it on Twitter. That is your over/under for the day, that anchored VWAP. So I'm taking one off into that anchored VWAP. I don't want to get trapped if it starts to be a pain there. There's your bear flag. Now one more retest of that would be ideal. Need a break structure here, there. Okay. How many have I got? 1, 2. I'm not holding beyond that. I am not holding short beyond that. Why? Because we are holding demand, right? This is a pullback leg. This is a giant flag. It's a bit like yesterday. If anyone watched me trade yesterday, I was flipping between shorts and longs because I knew what was a pullback leg. Okay. So what am I expecting now? Well, if we can consolidate, right, off demand, reclaim the anchor, we're going to go and take out the high, right? We're going to go back into the high. This is how you need to be thinking, forward thinking ahead. What is probable for next, and then be reactive, okay? Don't guess. Have an idea of what might happen, and then be reactive if it happens, okay? Don't guess about it happening. So let it develop. Right, there's your break above. Okay, where's your swing high? That was the swing that brought you down to this low. So now I'm already thinking long. We've got that imbalance. Right, there's your imbalance. Can it dig through? Bit iffy. There you go. I like the reclaim. So let's start getting long in here. Kind of like a W pattern. Comes back to check the imbalance. Starting to build. One more check maybe. There you go. Beautiful trap. Now I'm holding for expansion. Where am I holding for expansion to? IB high. Okay, rotating off the IB low, off VWAP back to the IB high. Same strategy. If we break through IB high, I'm taking it off. Or at least one. Almost got it. Tapped it. Okay, there we go. So selling one into the IB high there. Okay, so now we need to be careful about a pullback because we've just done a breakout. Okay, we've just done a break of structure. We know when we do a break of structure, the market is probable at some point to do a pullback because you don't want to buy high. Okay, you want to buy low to go high. So now the pullback may be towards 72, which is also this level that we just broke out from. So you notice we did this kind of W, broke out, retest, then grind up. Okay, so need to be cautious why you take some off once we do that break of structure, especially for a break of structure in higher day, and even more so for a break of structure of higher day in supply. Okay, super cautious of that. So if we dig higher, fantastic. Looks heavy there, almost takes it out. That looks like a lower high and a wash. Okay, so out. So if I'm going to get short now, if you're looking for that counter trend short, that's fine. You could have always put a channel in here. Okay, you can look for that counter trend short. Where are you going to look for it? It's just going to be a pullback, right? Like we talked about. So into this area here, probably. Needs to give the trigger though. Okay, that's quite nice. Back inside. Your trigger on a 1 minute was this wick. Okay, so we broke below, we've retested. So we'll get short in here. It would ideally be higher, but I can't do that on the replay. So looking for breaker structure lower now. You have to risk high of day here. If it doesn't break structure lower, it's a cut. It's a cut there for me. giving some back. Again, it's just counter trend. Those are the harder moves. That's why it's easier to follow the trend, right? Follow the system. But I'm just showing you what I would have probably done. Like, I'm just being realistic. Okay, there's the stuff through higher day. That's the retest. Now we've washed out. Now if it breaks that low and returns back in, it's a better short. If it returns back in, you can't chase this down. Again, want to check the fib. Okay, I don't like that flat top high, that's my worry. Return back into here is ideal, really. So let's put some on here. I'll add if it pushes back in. Might get a candle after the break. Okay, break of structure. We're starting to wash out here. Okay, so I would probably realistically be taking one off there because I know it's just a pullback leg. I'd consider attacking that. I don't like time of day being at lunch and it's come all the way back up. Could argue that's a good short into there for the return, but not at this time of day for me. So taking that off, pretty much break even. If it does a bear flag breakdown, fantastic, but what I would be very cautious of here is time of day and the setup. Alright, it might use this liquidity and trap all the shorts you got in here now, okay, to do this move. That's instantly what I was thinking once it didn't flush any deeper. You'll see this quite commonly, it happens quite a lot. If it goes deeper, great, like we're not in it, it's fine. Built more liquidity, there you go. So wonky, it's kind of more like a Quasimodo for anyone that studies, or an inverse quasi. Okay, almost like Head and Shoulders, but move the other way. Now, why did I think that was going to happen? These are clean, right? These are clean up here, so there's so many stops sat up there. So that's what worried me about this move here. So you have to be cautious of that. Now that's probably a good long. Right off that now, for that break and retest, is probably a good long. It's the IB. I just want to check that is the IB high. Just zoom out. Yeah. Okay, so it's the IB high, and we've left equal highs above us. Problem is risk. It's probable, but the problem is risk. Deeper pullback is better. Glad I didn't take it now. Return back in. I still think it has to take out those highs. They're way too clean up there. W pattern. Okay, now it's taking the high, I think. Just pull that along. So it took a while to set up. So it had to trap. So it did one W pattern. Expansion. Didn't build enough liquidity, so it had to come back, build another W pattern. Expansion. Alright, notice this imbalance held above the IB high. So I can't remember where I was saying was probably good here, and I said feels high risk. That's because you'd have to risk down here. And this time, still have to risk a bit too much, but at least it had those engulfing candles. Okay, so let's see what happens now. Now we've swept the high. We'd like a bigger move up here, really. There you go. So that long maybe was valid. I just didn't like the risk-reward ratio on it. Okay. Okay, so there's your first dump. Takes out this swing. Sorry, I keep like going to draw the line on OBS and the screen's to my left, so if you keep seeing me look left, that's why. Okay, there's that. this was effectively your pullback range. Okay, and you've got an imbalance in here. So I'm looking for a return into that now to get short. That was probably it. That absolutely was it. See if we get lucky. Return into range. Okay, beautiful. All right, I'm interested. Again, where am I risking? I'm risking high of day. Where am I going to attack? Well, we've just left this huge trend line up here, right? And it's basically retail trend. So shorts, stops, got a contour today. Stops, 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 stops. Sell side liquidity, buyer stops. If we get through and under this IB high, I'm gonna think that we can get back down to anchored VWAP. Why? Because that's the value for the session since NFP, right? So that's what I'm thinking. Profit taken to close. Do they want to hold risk exposure long over the weekend when we've had 5 days up? Probably not. Doesn't mean they're going to puke the whole thing, but it's probable that you would take some risk exposure off, okay? And we've had break of structure, pullback, return into range. Again, we've got tight risk here. What have we got? See if it works out. So we're risking to higher day. So again, a 6R. How many points am I risking? 2 points. Almost 3 points. 2.75 points. Absolutely nothing. You've got to be willing to take your shots on your setups. All right, nice. Can we get a breakdown? Really nice now. Amazing. Just so heavy now. Look at all the stops about to get run. Return into range. Now, I'd like to get some more on here. A deeper pullback would have been better there. If it gives me a deeper pullback, I'll put some on. Here's the build of a bear flag, so in case you can't see it, right? Really clean. That's your bear flag. So I'm expecting lower prices. And where am I going to look to take profit? Sorry, again, I'm putting it on OBS. All right, there's my first TP, and my second will be down here, and the third would be VWAP below it. Okay, but look at this range here that we talked about earlier. It's lining up absolutely perfectly. Okay, so that's my TP. It's in that kind of area. Almost got it. Bang. All right, taking one there. Not being stubborn. Okay, we are very close to close, so you would have imbalances here. Can we get it? Come on. All right, well, we almost got it. Didn't quite get it. Still holding, but probably goes there afterwards. I don't know. I'm very surprised. Right, we have to close position. But yeah, almost got it. So how many you got on? 2 more. Close those down. That is a $10,000 day. All right. Did I oversize? No. Did I ever risk much? No. Did I fight trend? No. Did I just play what was in front of me? Yes. It shows that it can be done, okay? It can be done both sides. Today was arguably, looking at it for me, I would have said one of the better days because so many people were trapped. And when it gave the pullbacks, it gave some decent range. These are decent range on pullbacks from 78 all the way down to 60. You're getting 20-point pullback ranges, right? We haven't really seen that often recently. We've just been grinding. So it gave lots of opportunities today. That's how I would have played it, right? Both sides, if I was playing both sides. And I do like to play both sides when it gives the moves like this. Why wasn't I just sat long? Well, yeah, it was also because we are on the 5th day of the long, so I am aware of that. It was also location. Okay, we are located right next to this supply block. Did we ever show a willingness to trend above the IB high? That's this level here, so just make it really clear. Did we show willingness to trend above it? Not really. Like a little bit in here, but it was limited, right? Because we're in a supply block. So understanding your location, the time, like the macroeconomics. What were the yields doing? What was Dixie doing today? You know, what was the VIX doing all week? That will give you a good sense of what you should be looking for. VIX has been seriously low all week. So looking for a long-term short, right, a bigger short. I'm going to exit this now so you can see. Let's just go into my normal setup. There we go. Alright, I want you to see where the VIX is. Under 16. Alright, guys calling short when we're down here are absolutely nuts. Your better short on VIX is when it's over 20, okay? It's when it's over 20. And the same with the Dixie. Like, yields just completely destroyed the Dixie. It's just been nothing but a dump fest all week, okay? When the Dixie's dumping, what are we doing? We're looking for longs. When the VIX is dumping, especially, I called it under 20 and under this level here, which I had marked out, I think it was like 18, so yeah, under 19, 18. What are we doing? We're thinking about longs, other than a counter trend scalp. That's all this is. It's a bull flag, right? So you can short the bull flag, or you just wait, right? The easier move, just wait for it to break out above the bull flag and take the long. If you're newer to trading, right, just play the momentum. If your time frames are saying that it wants to move up, okay, let's strip everything off for a second. Alright, all week we've been wanting to move up. Right, if the higher time frames are saying move up, focus on the locks. Okay, focus on what the higher time frame does, because you are more likely to be right than you are wrong when you do that. You are more likely to have momentum on your side, right? It's the same the other way around. When we've been going down all this journey, you want to be looking, or at least focusing on, or sizing into your shorts. When we're doing these moves, you want to be looking and focusing on longs. So that's it, a bit of a longer video today, I know, but I really wanted to give you a good insight into how my brain works, how I think about structure, how I think about momentum, how I look to take profit, and especially the difference between a pro trend leg and a counter trend leg. So important you understand the difference with that. So this weekend I will try and get into a video to teach you how I use anchored VWAPs. They've come in really useful the last few weeks, as you will see. Until then, trade safe, have a great weekend.